Dobrý den, dámy a pánové. Já vás vítám u našeho dnešního webináře, který jsme připravili společně s naším partnerem společností Morningstar. Ještě předtím, než začneme, můžete mi prosím jenom potvrdit, zda vidíte sdílenou obrazovku a že jsem slyšet? Výborně, děkuji. Jak jsem již tedy zmínil, tento webinář bude zaměřen na nástroje Morningstar, které jsou k dispozici pro vás na naší platformě MoventumOffice. Ty naleznete v záložce Morningstar a zde můžete v tuhletu chvíli využívat 4 nástroje. Prvním z těch nástrojů je Fund Comparison, což je srovnání fondů, pokud tedy chcete vybrat, srovnat různé aspekty jednotlivých fondů, které vás zajímají, tak tady tuto možnost zde máte uvedenou. Dalším tím nástrojem je portfolio, nebo portfolio manažer, kde můžete se podívat na naše manažovaná portfolia Momentum aktiv, a nebo případně zde můžete vytvářet i vlastní portfolia, která můžete sledovat, hodnotit, analyzovat. Třetím tím nástrojem, který je k dispozici, je Fund Selector. Nicméně tady tato část nebude dnes probírána, jelikož se překrývá s Product Browse, který máte k dispozici přímo v záložce platforma. Zde de facto tady tahle část vám pomáhá vybírat jednotlivé fondy do portfolia klientů na základě určení třídy aktiv, měny, případně společnosti, správcovské a tak dále. Všechny tady tyto kategorie jsou uvedeny v Product Browse v záložce platforma a proto tuto část dnes nebudeme probírat, nebudeme komentovat. Třetí je tedy potom probíranou částí nástrojem Fund Quick Rank, což vám umožní pochopitelně, jak už název napovídá, hodnotit jednotlivé fondy. Pokud se například na vás obrátí klient s dotazem, co si myslíte o tady tomto nebo jiném fondu, tak máte možnost tady takto velice rychle vyhodnotit, o jaký nástroj se jedná, a samozřejmě i to hodnocení Morningstaru jako jedné z největších nezávislých analytických společností na světě vám pomůže potom při práci s vaším klientským kmenem a s vašimi klientskými portfolii. Toto je úvodní část, kterou já jsem tedy ukončil tu svoji roli a v tuto chvíli já mezi nás přivítám Adriana Torpse jako relationship manažera ze společnosti Morningstar, který nám tento webinář také uvede. A následně se spojíme s Erikem Wienekrem, který je solution specialist a který nás tady provede tím dnešním webinářem a podíváme se společně s ním na ty jednotlivé nástroje, které jsou k dispozici na naší platformě. So Adrian, you should be able to...
There we go.
Present, yes. Great.
Perfect.
Well, Adrian, thank you very much again for joining us today. It's my pleasure to invite you here, and after my really quick introduction to today's webinar, I'll give you a word, and then the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Jan, for organizing and helping you as well on this webinar. So hi everyone. So as Jan introduced ourselves, so I'm Adrian, a relationship manager at Morningstar for Momentum. And today with Jan and my colleague Eric, our solution specialist, we'll kind of walk you through the Momentum platform as we've been working together, partnering together for quite some time already, with some web components that we have been integrating directly into Momentum's platform, as Jan just showed you very quickly. So those components are really made to help you guys as financial advisors to get the information and the relevant insights into your investments as funds to help your clients reach their financial goals. That's essentially what it does. So as you will see, we have different components to help you find the right funds based on your needs or your clients' needs, to compare those funds between one another, so you can really pick the one that is most suitable and relevant. You can also build portfolios. You can deep dive into a specific instruments. So basically giving you access to the Morningstar fund research and data in a single place directly within the Moventum platform. That's what it is designed to do. So with Eric, we walk you through those different components to give you more insights into how you can use them as part of your workflow directly when you connect to Moventum's platform. So I think I will keep it short and sweet on my side. I think Eric has the most important things to talk about. So Jan, feel free to switch me to my colleague Eric, who will take it from here.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Adrian, and I hope I will be able to talk to you later on. Maybe we'll have some questions we can answer together. So thank you for now.
Sure, my pleasure. Thank you.
V tuto chvíli já tady přivítám mezi nás Erika, který vás provede samotnými nástroji, které jsem zmínil jak já, tak Adrian. Snad se nám podaří navázat spojení. Eric? We can see you, can't hear you.
Now you can.
Now we can, okay. Hello and welcome to our today's webinar.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you for inviting us. Very good to be here. I will indeed present the tools. So let me first, as a man, I can only do one thing at a time. So let me find a button to start sharing my screen. I think it's blocked at the moment. Could it be that you are still sharing something, Jan?
Yep, thank you.
Sorry for the hold up, people. I do not know how well you know Morningstar, but perhaps good to mention that we are active in quite a couple countries. What I will be showing you today is a number of modules that are standalone components that Moventum has chosen. So to complement Moventum in their offering, they use our modules to help you search for funds that you would like to offer to your clients. So here's a little summary of what I will be showing now. These are modules. So these are the separate modules. And these are some topics I would like to go through. So first of all, this is the fund quick rank. This is where you would select your funds. You would look at the funds that are selected by Moventum that you can offer to your clients. First stop would be language. You are neither German, neither English, but these are the two options that are being given. If you would like, there can be also your language added. It is possible. But for the sake of this preview, I think English will do the trick. So here we have Momentum portfolios and all funds. All funds is a combination of about 7,000 funds, where the Momentum portfolios are a universe of 15 funds that Momentum is recommending you to offer to your clients. Within this field, you can pick your funds based on a certain criteria. So one of the criteria is the asset manager. Another criteria is the Morningstar category. So Morningstar category is a way of Morningstar to cluster certain funds that are identical to each other or are similar to each other. So if we have funds that are all investing in China, we compare these funds to each other. So performance from a Chinese focused fund cannot be the same, or we cannot compare them to one that just focuses on equities in Germany. So we think it's fair to put similar funds in similar categories to make it more comparable to each other. So you can search here for a fund. You can use different identifiers. For example, here's a German WKN, but the usual that you will probably use is an ISIN. Below here, we see a couple of buttons. So these buttons give you a subset of data points that you can see for these funds that are here in this overview. So we have a snapshot, which really gives you a couple of standard data points, including Morningstar rating, which is our way of showing a quantitative view on how a fund is performing. So you can use sorting options. So 5 stars means relatively to the category this fund is in, it does quite well historically. So this is a backward-looking methodology to see how a fund is performing. So it's not future-looking, but it does give some insight of how the fund performs relatively to his peers. We have here short-term performance. We have a tab for long-term performance. We have a button here that shows a little bit of portfolio statistics. So if it's a bond fund, there will be some bond metrics shown. Again, you can sort it if you would like to have a certain long, short duration. An important tab, I think, for you as advisors is, depending on how it works in your country, but in many European countries, it's very important for an advisor to hand over the KIID document because the regulator demands this from advisors. So in Czech, this might be different. But I know in the Nordics, it's very important. Any advice given, it needs to have a KIID document. So there's 2 ways of seeing this. I will show the other one in a bit. But as you can see here now, for all of the funds, we are making visible a prospectus, an annual report, semi-annual report, and a KID. The language that this is showing is chosen because the language that is selected here. So if I move this to German, you will get German documents if available. We have another couple of tabs here. So here we have a compare button, and I think it will be good to show that. So you can compare different funds on some metrics. So I would just select a couple. Let's choose some different ones. And just press the compare button. So this will open one of the other modules, which is called the fund compare. So this overview has both a HTML, so a web-based version, and a PDF version. So from this view, you can also add more funds here. So you could change the fund you want to compare to another fund. So here are a couple of statistics that we believe are important. Something you will look at is, of course, the growth chart. It is done in 5 years. This is a setting, standard setting. Total returns. These are special Morningstar equity style and fixed income style boxes, which show relatively where the focus is of a certain fund. Similar to fund compare, we also have an X-ray, so it does a very similar thing, but it, in my opinion, it looks better. So what you would do here is you would pick the allocation either by amount or by percentage. So you can put a euro number here, or you can put a percentage number here. If you want to just make everything the same, you can, or you can make everything 1640. And you can add, I think, up to 30 funds or ETFs, and you can use this button to make it an equal allocation. So it really is a snapshot overview of what this, how these funds comparing, how this portfolio is comparing. So here is also a PDF button. So keep a lookout for the PDF button. So this is the same, but just a printable version of what you're seeing in the HTML document. So feel free to distribute this to give this to your clients once you have given an advice on what they should change or what they should have in their portfolio. So let's pick another couple funds. So we have another button here. It's a charting tool. So this gives a bit more, in a bit more detail. You can view a chart and you can play with benchmarks, which is something that you might not do with the X-ray or the compare. So you can play around here. You have the option to add benchmarks, to remove benchmarks, to change them. Of course, you can change the time period. So here you would add a benchmark if you do not have the right one yet. Here we have the option to add or remove the dividend payouts or the Morningstar rating. I think it gets messy when you have a lot of benchmarks here. But the fund itself, so the dividend you will see is the dividend of the fund. In this case, this one. We're now looking at a growth chart. So you start with 10K at the beginning of the time period that you choose, and the relative performance to this benchmark, and this benchmark is now shown. I am not, the tools that we have sold to Momentum are on the Momentum platform. So this is something that I cannot access because it's a Momentum property. So there is an option here to add to the portfolio. I presume this works, but you will have to play with it yourself. But what this does is it brings you, or it brings these funds to your portfolio manager module. So I will now fast forward to that module. So this is the portfolio manager. It looks a lot like yours. It might look a little bit different because this is our test environment. Here we have a couple of views. This is, let's say, this is my client as an advisor. So you can have as many portfolios as you need. So this is where you would add your clients. And you will do so by using the create button. So you can have a watch list just for keeping an eye on certain investments, or you create a portfolio for a client, or a it can also be a model portfolio if you like. So I will not create one, but let me just do the same to modify it. So in this portfolio, it is chosen to use allocation. So this is 1,000 euro, 2,000 euro, 5,000 euro. But you are, of course, just as much. You can use the percentage allocation. So there's a button below to help you with it. Adding a fund is fairly simple by using this hourglass button. The universe here is different from yours, but let's see if there's a check. I'm not familiar with the check exchange, but there likely is one. So you can use these filters to define what you're looking for. So you might look at what type of distribution. You might look at a category that something is in, for example, equities Europe. And you can choose the fund share class, probably Euro. So then you would have some filters applied, but you can also just search for a name. From there, you can again choose the equal allocation, and you would have something like this. If you do not have enough lines, you can always add one here. Good to know, I would say, is the view. So everybody wants to look at different data points in their view. So for this particular client, for this portfolio, I have chosen these different data points. So if you want to change that to some risk metrics or to some asset allocation or some price earnings, yeah, you can just do so by adding some, removing some. Yeah, so the modules that you see here are similar to what we have seen in the fund quick rank. So here again, you see the X-ray button. So the X-ray button in this case does it on the portfolio. So it doesn't compare two funds, but it does it. It looks at the portfolio. In this case, these three funds, and then it gives you the X-ray, so the portfolio look through into the holdings of this fund. So the graphics you see is the same, but the underlying is now the portfolio of this particular client. I would like to go one step back. So here we are at the quick rank again. So what I haven't shown you yet is a look through in the fund. It's called a fund report. So this fund report also has a PDF button. So if you want to print it because you want to advise this, particular fund to a client, you can use a printable version, which I would say gives quite nicely some insight in what this fund has. Under filings, you will find the language documents that you might need. So again, here we will see the PDF button. So you might have to give this to the advisor that is in front of you. I think I have covered most. I think it might be good to give it back to Jan, who can of course show you the platform where the modules are situated. So over to you, Jan.
Okay, Eric, thank you very much for your presentation, and I'm very happy that you were able to join us today and take us through those tools that are available for our partners within our platform. Now I'm going to switch to Czech, if you don't mind.
I would love to do.
Takže dámy a pánové, v tuhletu chvíli nám Erik ukázal nástroje, které jsou k dispozici na naší platformě. Jak sám zmínil, tak jsme nebyli schopni vám je ukázat přímo pod jeho taktovkou v platformě MoventumOffice, jelikož do ní nemá přístup, proto nám ji ukázal v tom svém prostředí. Nicméně, jak jsem vám ukázal na začátku, tak pochopitelně je možné tyto nástroje využívat v rámci platformy MoventumOffice. Jak jste asi mohli vidět, tak jsou velice podobné, nebo respektive ne stejné, tak jak jsme si je prošli nyní s Erikem. Těch částí a těch nástrojů, které jsou k dispozici, tak zejména si myslím, že moc hezký nástroj je právě ten Quick Rank, Fund Quick Rank, který vám umožní hodnocení jednotlivých fondů. No ale také samozřejmě, pokud se na vás klienti obrátí s případným porovnáním, zhodnocením nějakých několika fondů, o které může mít zájem, tak opět tam máte k dispozici právě, teď si díváme na ten fond Compare, nástroj, který vám umožní porovnat fondy z různých hledisek a z různých kritérií. Máte opravdu velice flexibilní možnost s nimi pracovat. Můžete si je tisknout do PDF nebo je zasílat samozřejmě klientovi e-mailem a v neposlední řadě pochopitelně můžete i pracovat s portfolio manažerem, který vám umožní poskládat individuální portfolio pro klienta a prezentovat mu ty jeho základní kritéria jako celek, což si myslím, že je naprosto skvělá věc, protože v případě individuálních portfolií se předpokládám, investor dívá na to, jak to portfolio funguje jako celek, jako komplex. V tuhletu chvíli bych tedy předal prostor na otázky, pokud nějaké jsou z vaší strany. Pokud ne, tak samozřejmě, pokud vás cokoliv bude dalšího zajímat, tak neváhejte se na nás obrátit. Pokud nebudeme schopni odpovědět my, tak Adrian nebo Erik nám určitě pomůžou s tím, abychom vám dali ucelené informace týkající se těchto nástrojů a jak je využívat. Vidím, že v tuto chvíli žádné dotazy nejsou. Co bych tady ještě doplnil, než se s vámi rozloučím, je to, že tento webinář byl nahráván. Pro ty z vás, kteří budou mít zájem o jeho záznam, tak určitě neváhejte nám napsat. Rádi vám zašleme. A určitě bych také rád využil tady této příležitosti a pozval vás na společný rozhovor s Martou Gelovou, spoluzakladatelkou a předsedkyní rady FPI Česká republika, který proběhne ve středu 9.6. v 10 hodin. Budete ho moci sledovat živě, budeme ho streamovat na našem YouTube kanále a link na tady tento rozhovor, ve kterém budeme s Martou se bavit zejména o ESG, SRI a modelech investičního poradenství v Evropě a v České republice, tedy budete moci sledovat s námi. Okay, Eric, if I may, there is a question from the audience.
Yes.
The question is if advisor is able to find the analyst rating within the tools.
So let's first look at analyst rating. So Morningstar has different ratings. The rating that I have shown before is the Morningstar rating, and additional to the Morningstar rating, we also have a Morningstar analyst rating. So the Morningstar rating is backward-looking, and the analyst rating is forward-looking. So the forward-looking is a rating done by our analysts who do a deep dive into a fund, into the fund company, into the actual manager. And then they make a future view, future opinion about that fund. So that being said, I think the analyst rating is not part of this tool. At least I haven't seen it. It's definitely something that can be part of it. But yeah, when I look here, we just have incorporated the Morningstar rating and not the analyst rating.
OK, thank you. Takže v krátkosti pro ty vás, kteří nepostihli, tak analyst rating není součástí nástrojů, které jsou v rámci platformy k dispozici. Ode mě je to tady pro tuto chvíli vše, dámy a pánové. Já vám velmi děkuji za váš čas, který jste s námi strávili. Ještě jednou se omlouvám za menší technické problémy, které jsme ale společně tedy konali. A samozřejmě v případě jakýchkoliv dalších dotazů jsme vám k dispozici a budu se těšit na další webinář, o kterém budete brzy informováni. Přeji hezký den, nashledanou.